this is pretty scary to me because in 25 years, this was an extreme increase. It went from 30 million people globally who had diabetes. And when you hear the number 30 million, I mean, that's pretty big, right? Absolutely. But it's not when you compare it to what happened up through 2010. 346 million people around the globe on planet Earth have diabetes. And do you think from 2010 to 2012 that it stayed the same? Do you think it went down any? Absolutely not. It's going up, and it's going up quickly. And here's why. Back in the 1820s, people only consumed 8 pounds of sugar a year. And look what it's done up through 2000. And I understand that that's an old chart. I understand that from 2000 and 2012, it probably went on a straight incline. But now we're well up to over 120 pounds of sugar per year. I've read 2 different studies. They range from about 130 pounds to 156 pounds per year that the average American is consuming. Now, I'm not going to tell you which side of the scale I'm on, but I weigh somewhere in between that. So I kind of always joke with my husband and say, look, you're consuming as much sugar a year as I weigh. I know I'm sweet and all. I'm just kidding. But that's pretty scary. So that's on the rise, too. And here's part of the reason. You know, I hear that sugary drink. And when I read this, it says half of the U.S. population over the age of 2 consumes a sugary drink every single day. Well, sugary drink is defined as, you know, a Coke or a Pepsi or sweet tea if you're down here in the South with me. What about juices? Orange juice, apple juice. I try to give my 2-year-old apple juice thinking it's a healthy solution, and it's not, because when I turn around and read the label, it's just as bad as drinking a soda. That's pretty scary. So just by drinking one sugary drink a day, look what it's doing to our country. Poor diet quality, weight gain, obesity is on the rise, and absolutely type 2 diabetes is on the rise as well. This came from the National Center for Health Statistics, so you can double check it if you'd like. This is kind of funny to me because I have always been a big Coke drinker, and then I saw this slide, or I saw this picture online, and it says that there's 22 packs of sugar in a Coca-Cola. Isn't that nuts? I mean, I would never sit down at a restaurant and like rip open the packs of sugar there in the little caddy on the table, but there's 22 of them in a Coke, so I think that's pretty scary. This also kind of hit home with me since I am a Coke drinker. 65 grams of sugar in one 20-ounce Coke. And what's really scary about Coke is there's 3,500 other Coke products. Is that a lot? I mean, who knew that, right? 1.7 billion Cokes are served every single day, but that's not including those other 3,500 products. That's not the Mr. Pibb and the Fanta and the Fresca or whatever else they have in their brands. Coca-Cola is the largest consumer of refined sugar in the whole world. So you better have a solution if you're going to drink their 3,500 products. Would you agree? I put this slide in here only because my husband is an absolute cereal junkie. He eats cereal every single night, no matter if we just had the, largest dinner of the year or not. He just loves cereal. But what's kind of scary about this is I read an article that it's the same thing as giving our kids a Twinkie and sending them out the door to school. That's how much sugar are in these boxes of cereal. You can look at the number 1 cereal on this list. It's the worst cereal out there because over 55% of that box is pure sugar. We would never give our kids a Twinkie and send them to school, but we're really doing the same thing, the equivalent of it, by giving them a bowl of cereal or 2. I have boys in my house. They don't ever just eat one bowl of cereal. I want you to do this. I want you to Google toxic sugar. I want you to go to YouTube and put in toxic sugar or Dr. Oz, or especially this clip. This came from 60 Minutes, Dr. Robert Lustig. He's kind of just sounding the alarm of how toxic sugar is. He's letting us know what the problem is and how it started. And what happened was back in the 70s, they thought fat was the big problem. So they started to reduce it. They started taking it out of everything. But what do you think happened? Food didn't taste good. They took all the fat out. So they had to do something. So what tastes good? What do we all love? Yes, sugar. So then you can see the numbers in obesity across the nation. It was only a 10% with obesity here in the country. Look what it did. It went straight up, 62%. Do you think that's a big jump? It sure is. So not only is obesity on the rise, but cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, all those symptoms that we talked about a few minutes ago are on the rise. Dr. Robert Lustig actually believes that sugar should be regulated just like alcohol and just like tobacco. And, that might sound funny to some of you, but it's absolutely the truth because sugar is killing probably more people than alcohol and the tobacco. So that's pretty scary. Dr. Oz, how many people watch Dr. Oz? Like every single woman in America. There's probably a few men too. I don't know if they admit it or not, but either way, if Dr. Oz says something, people are listening. Why? Because he's reputable. He's respected. He's very prominent on TV right now. And right now he's with Dr. Lustig. He's sounding the alarm. He's telling us sugar needs to be out of our house. If he had to pick one food to get out of our house, he said he would pick sugar. So that means off the dinner table, out of our kids' lunches, out of their cereal bowls. And so if you think people are listening, absolutely. Do you think it's good if we have an all-natural solution to this problem? Yes, it's free advertising on the Dr. Oz show. That's pretty awesome. What do you think? How do we get sugar out of our system? What do we do? Do we eat a lot of vegetables? Kathy told you guys, I have 6 kids. I know that is absolutely crazy, but I do. And my husband's very busy. He goes to meetings 4 or 5 nights a week. We do these webcasts 2-3 times a week. We do conference calls every single day. Not to mention, I'm dragging my kids all over town for cheerleading, for drum lessons, vocal lessons, whatever it is. We go to church 3 times a week. So I have really good intentions that I want to feed my kids well every single night. But do you think that happens? I'm telling you now, it does not. I feed them a lot of pizza here lately, and I'm not proud of it, but it's just what it is. I'm not the only busy parent out there. I'm sure that you guys feel the same way. So even though I want to cook like this, it's almost impossible for me in my lifestyle right now. How about this one? Do you want to exercise more? I would like to exercise more, but again, it kind of goes back for me to my busy schedule. And that's exactly what I look like standing on the stair step or when I do drag myself to the gym. But what about those women that are in the gym that look really good and they're like on the treadmill for 2 hours and they look real hot in spandex? Lauren, he's going to come on in a few minutes. He's really fit. He goes to the gym probably 7 days a week, maybe twice a day. I don't even know. But does that get the sugar out of their system? No, it doesn't. The sugar's still there. They look good in spandex, and they have good cardio. And I think Lauren can walk on his hands. I don't know if I'm even allowed to tell you that, but he can. But he still has sugar in his system if he's eating it and not using the all-natural solution that we're going to talk to you about in a minute. How about this one? Take another challenge? Has anybody taken a challenge? Has anybody started a New Year's resolution? Probably everybody at least once. I know my husband and I, we promoted a challenge. We got paid a pretty decent amount of money, and we drove a free car. That's pretty cool, right? But you know what? In 2.5 years, I never, ever started the challenge. And my husband did 3 times, and he never finished it. So did anybody finish it? Yeah, sure. Some people are really disciplined, and they make it through that 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is. But do you think that they stick with it for the next 30 years? No. Are they skipping a meal and eating a bar or drinking a shake or whatever that challenge is for them? Probably not. So what happens? They go back to what they love, right? They go back to Starbucks or Coke or the double cheeseburger and fries, whatever it is. So that's probably not the solution either. So this is where all the problem lies, what we eat, how we can't get rid of it. So I'm going to throw it back to Kathy, and she's going to bring on our next presenter. Kathy, are you there?